teams of NPL New South Wales Women's between the Old Manly United FC and North West Sydney Spirit. The final score, Manly United 2, North West Sydney Spirit 3. For Manly United, goals to Ruby Vernon in the 62nd minute and India Horsley in the 76th minute. To North West Sydney Spirit, Grace Hattard in the 9th minute, Charlotte Finity in the 10th minute, and Sienna Horsford in the 16th minute.
Manly United would like to thank the following businesses for their support for the 2025 season: Community Bank Freshwater, Brown Brothers Skip Bins, Ray White, Brookvale Mazda, Manly Spirits, DYRSL, Lions Sport Travel, Big League Balgala and Nomavale, JB Metropolitan, CMS Surveyors, Auto Body Smash Repairs, Brookvale Aluminium, Amazon Power Assay, Benedict Recycling and Building Materials, Blue Dog Signs, Helper, NV Marine, Oxford Falls Grammar School, Vine Apparel, Holiday Estate, Loomis, Manly Pacific Sydney, Metronics, Riggs Brookvale, Grill and Best Team. Now don't forget to head down to the canteen behind the Northern Goal for tea, coffee, cold drinks, snacks, hot food or one of Cromer Park's famous chicken schnitzel rolls. And if you're after a meal or a drink, the Licence Club, the Far Post, is open from midday every Saturday and Sunday on the eastern side of the field.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we can confirm that the lineups for first grade for NPL New South Wales Women's between the Old Manly United FC and North West Sydney Spirit are now confirmed, and they are as follows. For North West Sydney Spirit, number 3, Erin Quinmore, number 5, Victoria Martin, number 7, Kayla Osborne, number 9, Sky Halmarek, number 14, Christina Orman, number 17, Ariana Stoffelis, number 19, Victoria Kolosik, number 25, Michaela Gavronik, number 31, Grace Smith, number 32, Harper Pell, and number 66, Madison Gavila. And on the bench, number 18, Sienna Hawkins, number 21, Matilda Gilman, number 22, Charlotte Finity, number 26, Sophia Carr, number 27, Lucy Fuchiniko, and number 29, Lacey Webb. And now, the last Squeezers here. They've been servicing the northern beaches and surrounds for over 40 years. Next time you think skip bins, think Brown Brothers. Reliable service and eco-friendly operation is what they do best. Brown Brothers have planted over 16,000 trees and recycled over 80% of their collections. At Brown Brothers, they live and breathe skip bins. So go on, skip the mess, just better with the best. Call on 9999 6466 or get a fast quote at brownbrothersbins.com.au. Brown Brothers Skip Bins, their business is picking up.
supplying the ladder.
Ladies and gentlemen, all set for start in NPL New
52
South Wales
lineups
Women's.
at an appropriate break in play. Quick shout out to the third team. I'm loving this. It's a Hillshire takeover with the match officials. Alana Zick has the whistle. The assistant closest to us is Chloe Gray, who's from MacArthur, but we'll ignore that for now. And the assistant on the far side, another Hillshire official, it's Anna Zastavnikovic, as Alana Zick blows the whistle, and away we go. Spirit will go from right to left as we see things in the opening period towards the northern end of Cromer Park, wearing the colours of the old Gladesville Hornsby Soccer Association, the gold jerseys with the black shorts and the gold socks. While for Manly United, obviously the representative club of the Northern Beaches, it's the usual royal blue kit, as Alana Zick hasn't taken long to spot something that's a bit untoward. And okay, so I think Grace Smith, the goalkeeper, or at least someone from Spirit, has noticed that possibly a ball was flat. So there's a brief pause in play before we'll go on with an uncontested drop ball. So I suppose that's probably the cue to at least try and go through the starting lineup for a Spirit FC. So Tony Candy, the head coach, has made one change from their Wednesday night success at the Arctic Circle against the Jets. And it is Harper Pell coming in for Lucy Fuchineko. But we think, and I will confirm this for you, we think they'll line up in roughly a 4-3-3 formation. So in goal for Spirit, number 31, Grace Smith. 4 at the back from left to right, that's number 17, Ariana Stoltzfus. Number 3, the captain, Erin Pridmore. Number 19, Victoria Charlosic. And number 32, Harper Pell at right back. 3 in midfield, number 66, Madison Gabila. Number 14, Christina Onion. And number 7, Kayla Osborne. And the 3 up front. Number 5, Victoria Martin on one wing. Number 25, Michaela Gavranich on the other wing. And at centre forward, number 9, Sky Halmarik. For Manly United, as they're under pressure, but Bozanic at least can beat the press and the pressure that was applied by Osborne. For Manly, I think they'll also be 4-3-3, but actually, I'm glad I didn't. I'm actually glad I let the game start before seeing that, because whatever I said, it would have been wrong. So I might just reassess how they're lining up. But there's a ball over the top for Martin, who snuck in behind, and Martin, it's her foot weight underneath the ball, and it's an easy claim for Nicole Simonson. Simonson bouncing it off her captain, Ruby Jackson. And now Spirit with the ball. Minette, who was rescued a point for Manly United last time out in their 1-1 draw against Sydney Olympic at Belmore, or in Belmore, at Petermore Field. Was applying the pressure there. Now Stewart, okay, that's going to be out of reach for her teammates. Now for Manly United, now that I have had a look at them, and 4-3-3 as well for Tom Hopley's side. In goal, number 1, Nicole Simonson. 4 at the back, so from left to right, number 3, Grace Arnold. Number 15, Michaela Schmelzer. Number 6, the captain, Ruby Jackson. And number 2, Phoebe Gilbane. The 3 in midfield, number 12, Sian Bozanic. Number 8, Anita Zordan. And number 18, National Futsal Team superstar Daisy Arrowsmith. The 3 up front. On one wing, number 5, Nicole Stewart. On the other wing, number 11, Tegan Biasi. And up front, number 9, Emily Minette. Now, as you may have seen during the weekend, as that skips away from Grace Arnold, that is a big time for those women footballers in Australia of a futsal background, because the squad for Australia's first entry into the Women's Futsal Asian Cup, which starts next month in China, was selected. And a big congratulations to the Manly United pair of Daisy Arrowsmith and Hallie Smith from the Manly under-23s for earning selection to a historic occasion. They were both in action for the qualifiers, Asian Cup qualifiers, in Uzbekistan. That was in January. It's a wonderful time for those of us that are passionate about futsal. We finally have an official women's national team, a counterpart to the Futsal Roos. I call them the Futsal Matildas, and I hope that catches on, because it seems to be the easiest way. Australian women's national futsal team is quite a mouthful. Here is Ara Smith. Tried to find Stewart's run. It's blocked by Charlesic. And there's out for a throw. By the way, the benches, oh no, hold that thought, as Ara Smith has zipped in, found a gap between defence and midfield, taking on Pridmore. And now the loose ball falls to Minette. It's a decent effort. And Grace Smith was across in time to stop Emily Minette from opening the scoring. 5.5 minutes played or thereabouts here at Cromer Park. 0-0 between Manly United and Spirit. Round 7 NPL Women's New South Wales action. So on Manly's bench, by the way, the backup keeper is Jodie Draver. The others, Leah Burton, who is a defender. Lucy Richards, a fullback or a winger. Peyton Starner, she says she pretty much can play anywhere, but usually a midfielder from what I've seen. Ellie Kurz, a forward, and Ava Roberts, another defender. So that's who we might see later on for the home side, Manly United. Well, for Spirit, as Pridmore signals to Grace Smith. She wanted Grace Smith to come to the edge of a box, but the keeper stayed on her line. Instead, Pridmore improvises and finds a teammate. Some decent passing down the left-hand side for Spirit, stopped by Jackson. And then Stewart, well, there's a bit of a delayed whistle, but the flag came up from Chloe Gray, the assistant on assistant closest to us here in the grandstand, followed by the whistle. So an attacking set piece coming up for Manly United. By the way, that Spirit bench, Matilda Gilbert is the backup keeper. The others that Tony Candy could bring on later in the game, Sienna Hawkins, Charlotte Finnerty, Sophia Kelleher, Lucy Futcheneko, and Lacey Wynn. Ara Smith with the signal. And in it goes. Keeper's up, and Smith, she was a good jump from the young keeper, who, by the way, was on the bench for the women's under-23s game early on, which Matilda Gilbert started. And the two of them swapping for first grade. Now touchback and Simonson. And just play it out to Stewart, who is back defending. And Stewart, one of the fastest players actually in the league, not let alone at Manly United. And I think that's possibly why she was chosen to stay back off that set piece to protect against any potential counterattacks. And it does lead into one of my favorite sayings: an attacking set piece is an opportunity for both teams to score. Now, a kind spectator has told me that possibly I might have been a little bit soft in terms of my volume at the beginning of this game, and I know there's quite a few people who probably wish that they would have trouble hearing me as a permanent state of affairs, but apologies to those people. Apparently I'm at the correct volume now, but I might actually retell the Spirit lineup when I get the chance, because of those volume issues. But in the meantime, Biasi taking on Pell, and then undercooks a pass, and Osborne intercepts. Halmarik, nice touch, and then I think that was Gabila looking to play the killer ball. Bozanic with an excellent covering run, spotted not just the run, but there were defenders kind of having to scramble back. It's a good team defending there. Now, I did talk about Petermore Field earlier. That's where Manly United were last week. It's also a game there as we speak. It was a slightly early kickoff, a 3 p.m. kickoff between Sydney Olympic and UNSW. In one of my group chats, all I've seen is the message, Olympic getting an education, which must mean that the University of New South Wales are in front. Also, if you've ever been to Petermore Field, I know facilities are hard to change. Everything costs money. The ball over the top to Ara Smith, and Grace Smith might not get to this as Ara Smith is quick, but Smith with a clearance over the fence. Good sweeper keeper work there from the Spirit shot stopper. But yeah, actually, now that I think about it, going back to that Olympic versus UNSW game, good that it's a 3 p.m. kickoff now that daylight savings is finished. as it will be done before sunset. And if you've ever watched a night game at Petermore Field, you'll know exactly what I'm referring to there. Smith with the short rollout to Pridmore. On the way. Now, I like to do commentary a little bit differently, as Simonson has given the signal to her teammates to say that she's all over the situation and smashes that into the opposition half of the field. Decent first touch from Arrowsmith. Minette with the flick on. Now it's Pridmore. Zordan read the flight of the ball. And they're going to let her run at least initially. Zordan looking for Stewart. Stoltzfus. And then back to the keeper. By the way, I was actually the commentator for the Wednesday night game at the Arctic Circle, which Spirit beating the Jets by a goal to nil, courtesy of Sky Halmarik. So good to get another look at these players. But here's Biasi with possibly a look at the goal. And Grace Smith closed down the angle. She was sharp, off a line in a flash. Smothers the shot from Biasi. There's a little warning. Biasi, they've really got two flyers on the wings today at Do Manly with Biasi and Stewart. Biasi does like to start on the left but make darting runs off the ball towards the center of the field to get opportunities like that. Now, the longer-term fans of this competition will know, and this would be an interest possibly to those of you that follow the A-League Women competition very closely, because you would know that there is a point in the season, as Minette thought she might have thought for a moment about having a shot from way downtown. Biasi slips, so does Chalisic, and Pridmore sweeps it up. But she reminded by another message I've just received, which probably will be of interest to some of you. There is a point at which A-League Women registered players can join this competition. It is soon. It is on the 30th of April. So after the next weekend's round. So it's really been a feature of the seasons from really, I'd say 2023 and 2024, the last two seasons, where given the extension to the A-League Women's season, those players are now joining this competition, NPL New South Wales. Obviously, of course, the other state-based NPL competitions, they're joining that some way through the season. So it does provide an extra challenge to both the coaches in terms of recruitment and opposition scouting, because we do expect dozens of players to be entering this competition over the next few weeks. Martin with a dink through ball, stopped well by Jackson, and Jackson takes it off Osborne as well. Back to the keeper it goes. But it's also a challenge for the media, because we're just about gotten used to the lineups and who we expect to see starting for these teams in NPL Women's, and it could change in a couple of weeks. But yeah, I do love the A-League Women registration window. It does add a little bit of extra spice, shall I say, to the competition. And people love to speculate about A-League Women players joining NPL clubs, of course. But in the meantime, it's Stewart with a through ball, looking for Minette. It was stopped by Pridmore. And then Alnion thought she was fouled, and Alana Zick agrees. Had a brief chat to Alana before the game. It's a curious thing, possibly with the geographic distribution of NPL, shall we say NPL New South Wales people, whatever roles they have in the league. There's something I have noticed, it's that in terms of the assignments, something I've noticed with the refs and with myself as a commentator, people from the Hillshire, which is about an hour away in Western Sydney, we get assigned to games at Cromer Park more than you might think. As Stewart is stuck in behind Stoltz first, now she needs options in the middle. And the cross is blocked by Pridmore. That is the first corner of this afternoon's game. I mean, I didn't even break out. I didn't even have a chance to remind people you can't be offside from a throw-in because Nicole Stewart just wasn't offside full stop. Clever movement and aided by the quick throw. So, Arrowsmith will take this corner. Schmelzer's up from the back. If you're unaware, Michaela Schmelzer also played basketball when she was in the United States, so you might guess that she has a great vertical leap. She might be up for this one as well, but it's a good punch from Smith. And it was Schmelzer who was closest to it. Zordan strikes from range. Now, Jackson, decent contact, and Smith saves. So the busier of the two keepers early on, but it's still 0-0 as we pass the quarter-hour mark between Manly and Spirit. Easter Monday action. And can I just say, see, given how busy the football family is at Easter, I am loving that Catholic Easter and Orthodox Easter are on the same weekend for once. That makes it rather easier. I do suspect that might have been a factor in there being absolutely no football New South Wales competition games yesterday on Easter Sunday, because with Easter Sunday being, with it being Easter Sunday for both the Catholics and the Orthodox Christians, I mean, everyone would have been busy. So, we did see a handful of games being scheduled yesterday, but then even those were moved, which I think was the best solution for everyone. And we sure do hope that everyone's having a great Easter weekend. Now Minette with the touch. Now it's probably too straight for Stewart. And Smith wanted to let it run into a box so she could pick it up, but there's that Nicole Stewart pace. And it forces Smith into a clearance over the sideline. Gilbane. Now Stewart. Looks for the neat threader through ball, but Pridmore positioned well once again. As is Schmelzer getting in front of Halmarik, and that really should be the job for Manly today, because Sky Halmarik has really made an impact in the competition this season. She's been the match winner against Sydney University, against Bulls FC Academy, and against the Jets last week. So Manly trying to avoid getting Sky Halmarik this afternoon, but that is easier said than done. As Pridmore gets hit by the mystery sniper, Minette tries to pick up on the loose ball. She'll get there ahead of Stoltzfus. Gabila at least slows Stewart down. Stoltzfus sends it into a Spirit backpack that's by the fence. Schmelzer. Biasi, and followed by Pell, but gets away from the right back. Now, Biasi again, and it swings wide of the target. But that's excellent play from Manly. You had Minette and Arrowsmith involved. There you go, Biasi again, drifting inside from the left wing position to give Spirit quite a bit to think about. Martin inadvertently takes a touch, I think, off Gavranich's back. Now it's with Simonson. Simonson again, now Spirit starting to press high. Nice ball from Jackson to find Minette. Now Zordan. Right touchline. She goes direct towards Stewart, who drifted in field. I think that's, well, that pass didn't work out. Smart from Stewart because Minetta dropped deep. Stewart drifting inside, taking up the space vacated by Minette to provide a bit of a target, and it could have worked out, but not to be for the hosts this time. Headed tennis, but Martin looking to get involved, as is Halmarik with a neat header, then Martin again, but that one more trouble, Nicole Simonson. Of course, as be a good company person. Time to remind you that, of course, on the NPL New South Wales official Instagram, Facebook, and if you bother with this platform anymore, Twitter accounts, you will see everything you need to know about this competition, including like dramatic moments, late equalizers, spectacular goals, stuff like that. Just come up in my notifications, because as commentators, we are actually told text the Football New South Wales Media's manager, our fearless leader, the Golden Greek, Mark Stavroulakis, if anything notable that happens, such as a worldie or a last-minute equalizer, so we can try and make it go viral. And something that's just crossed my feed, because there was a game on the Holy Saturday 2 days ago, by the way, and thanks to my mother for reminding me of this. This weekend, the day between Good Friday and Easter Sunday is called Holy Saturday, because Easter Saturday is the following weekend. But anyway. But first, this Arrowsmith free kick over the one-person wall towards Schmelzer, heads towards goal there. She's been yet to score for Manly this season, Michaela Schmelzer, but very good in the air. And with the basketball background, as Phoebe Gilbane takes a tumble off frame, obvious target to aim for with a set piece. Now to Halmarik. Alnion. And it might open up if Spirit can work it left. Stoltzfus is getting forward. Instead they aim centrally, and drifting through is Gavranic, and Gavranic is stopped by an excellent save. Biasi is to shield it. She does shield it from Martin, and Schmelzer has had quite enough of that. And boots it towards the far post, the Licensed Club opposite us here in the Lucas Neal stand. Oh, a great place to watch football, if I do say so myself. And maybe I should start campaigning for, I don't know, some kind of... I don't know what we'd need to be able to call games from the deck there, but I do want to try it before I hang up the headset mic. Me calling a game at a licensed venue, surrounded by the punters. What could possibly go wrong? Be like an even riskier version of me calling at Sydney University Football Ground. Anyway, Gabila to Halmarik. Brings Anion into the play. And Anion will shoot. I think Manly players took the sting out of it, and Simonson has yelled out to Gilbane to leave it for her. Back to those viral moments on the NPL New South Wales channels that we referred to earlier, yes, but there was a game on the Holy Saturday 2 days ago at one of the coldest venues in Sydney, Northridge Oval. I mean, if Spirit's home ground is nicknamed the Arctic Circle, maybe that can be the North Pole. If you've ever been there in June, you'll understand. But it was high drama between the Bulls and the Stingrays. Ended up being a 3-3 draw, a late equaliser as Schmelzer heads forward. A late equaliser to earn the Bulls a point from their central defender, one of the most experienced players in the competition, Elizabeth Gray, scoring I think in the 94th minute to make it 3-3, earning the Bulls a point as Osborne has won a free kick. It does remind me that I do have a friend that is a massive fan of Liz Gray. So I'm sure they would have enjoyed that. In fact, I might show that clip to them, because I'm sure they'll like it. Here's the set piece. Up, and Schmelzer's defending, gets above Halmarik. Now off the knee of a Spirit player, and then Zordan didn't quite get the contact right, but the idea was excellent because Minette had laid it off and then immediately spun to try and run in behind. Emily Minette, Manly's top scorer last season. So that'll be quite the challenge facing the two central defenders for Spirit, Pridmore and Charlesic today. As Onion steals in ahead of Arrowsmith. Arrowsmith is going to stick to it. And Daisy Arrowsmith, I think I've always noticed watching her play, whether that be football or futsal. So, yes, there is the finishing. She's getting kind of close to 100 NPL New South Wales first grade goals. I reckon that'll happen in the next couple of seasons. I haven't quite kept a tally, apologies, but she is somewhere between 70 and 80 by this stage. But, as we saw there, Arrowsmith way more than just an attacker. She does actually defend very well. She's very helpful with high pressing as that goes over Arnold, but Schmelzer is round on the cover. And I think back pass will be the option. Yes, indeed, goes back, so Manly can start again. Now, Agnon's made a good run into the box. Here's Gabila, spins. Gilbane's tracking. She leaves it for Gavranic. And Gavranic to the byline. Tracked by Gilbane. Again. And again, it's blocked by Gilbane. Back to Stoltzfus. Stoltzfus can't get it past Zordan. Here's Osborne. And then Gilbane booms it towards her coach, Tom Hopley. Chalisic crossing halfway. Osborne. Halmarik looking for the ball out wide. I think Martin was the target, but instead it's Arnold with possession. Very interesting game, this one. 26 minutes played or thereabouts. 0-0 between Manly and Spirit. Eric Subihano on the mic from the Lucas Neal stand. NPL Women's New South Wales. I love what they've done. I can't remember the first year they did this. It's either 2019 or 2021 where Easter Monday NPL Women's became a thing, which I really love. Gives the women's comp some clear air. They also do it for the second tier comp, Football New South Wales League One Women's. And of course it avoids people being busier on Easter Sunday than they already are. Now, Gavranic. Gilbane in pursuit once again. Decent ball, but stopped by Schmelzer before Halmara can get to it. I think that's the key battle. Schmelzer against Halmarik, but now Minette with options. And decent ball, but Stoltzfus gets there just in time to block off Bozanic, who made an excellent run from deep. Bozanic might get another go here. Got some support. Minette. Now Minette will shoot from range. That'll be easy for Smith. But Sian Bozanic. So it was 3 weekends ago, round 4. And Manly United, despite being down to 10 players after a first half red card, they came from behind against the Jets to win 3-2. It was Sian Bozanic who scored the equaliser in that game before Anita Zordan's absolutely stunning winner at Lake Macquarie Regional Football Facility. But you remember Bozanic, well, we'll come back to that because good tackle from Stewart, and the run is coming from Biasi, but the ball doesn't get to her. Doesn't get to Zordan either, courtesy of Chalisic's clearance. Here's Bozanic. She was, while the Manly were chasing the game, Bozanic found herself briefly as the last defender, made a textbook tackle, released the ball, then went forward, broke past the last line of defense and finished well. It's like, it's not often, as Stoltzfus gets away with the air swing, it's not often that someone does both the last defender tackle and scoring a goal in the space of about 10 seconds, but it was exactly what was needed, and stuff like that, persistence like that in adverse conditions, that has meant Manly United are one of the league's 4 undefeated teams after 6 rounds. Stingrays have kept their undefeated record because, as I said earlier, they drew 3-3 against the Bulls on Holy Saturday. Although I think surely the biggest win is avoiding hypothermia at Northbridge Oval as Gavranic charges down the left, and the last touch. Well, actually, no, that would be a good throw-in, not a corner. I think. Well, hang on. I mean, I know it's not a night game, but still, my eyesight's not the best. I think everyone's setting up like it's a throw-in from right by the corner flag. Now, Stoltzfus wanted a short option, and then as Agnon blocks the clearance. Manly try to get out. But they'll still have to defend as Chalisic threads it through. Halmarik out wide. Martin up against Arnold. Gabriela, great first touch almost a great first touch from Halmarik. Anion keeps it alive and shoots from range. It's a good save from Simonson. Excellent. It really opened up for Anion. Why not have a crack from 25 yards? Simonson with a strong right hand, and that is the first corner of the game for the visitors. Pridmore and Chalisic obvious targets. Halmarik is good in the air as well. I think it's Osborne who's the nuisance player right in front of the keeper, Simonson. And I think that is Anion to defend. Osborne goes short, but it's direct into the middle. Simonson is up and doesn't catch it. And then it's boomed over the goal by Chalisic. There was a big chance. And it's gone over, and the score stays at 0-0. Of course, on the NPL New South Wales social, it's not just viral moments like Liz Gray's equaliser on Saturday against the Stingrays, but also you've got the NPL Women's Team of the Week, comprised of 3-2-1 votes from the media. So keep an eye out for that. Normally released on Mondays, but of course with an Easter Monday set of fixtures, 6 out of the 7 games for this weekend, it'll be released tomorrow. So it's always good to see who's made the Team of the Week, who's earned the favour of the media this week. And I do like to remind people of this. It's also a reminder to myself to send my votes in to the Greek god of football, New South Wales, Mark Stavroulakis, because I have been the straggler in the past. Although with a 6:30 p.m. game at Lambert Park, home of Sydney's best barista. That's the latest kickoff today, and that's between Apia and the Jets. I really shouldn't be the straggler this time. Osborne to Pell. Now back to Chalisic. Pell again. Now she's under pressure. Gets it to Gabriela. Gabriela only finds Bozanic. Now, Biasi loves running at defenders, and she's got the jump on Pell here. Across the field to Stewart, and now Menard. Spirit want a handball. Well, they have the ball anyway, so they're probably better. They're probably better off with the ball. Let's go on. Stoltzfus. Now Gavranic. Again, that's another fascinating battle. Gavranic against Gilbane. And while Gavranic has had a lot of attacking raids in the last 10 minutes or so, she should know, or if not, she will soon, that Phoebe Gilbane likes to get forward at every possible opportunity, so Gavranic won't have it all her own way. Schmelzer, good header. And then there's Gilbane with the clearance. Gabriela and it's Minette back defending. Manly quite deep there. Spirit still pressing, but Osborne runs into Arrowsmith. Now Minette thought about the direct ball, but decides a shorter option is the go, and then a rare loose touch from Zordan. And then she possibly was late on Gabriela, but Alana Zik deciding to keep on going because Spirit had the ball. Wouldn't have been to their benefit to stop it for a free kick in not a very dangerous position. Pell with synthetic turf in front of her. Now Martin. Arnold providing no way past. Stoltzfus kills it, takes on Stewart, and then Stewart's done enough. Been enough of an instruction to cause Stoltzfus to go over the sideline. Stewart. 10 minutes of regulation time to go in this first half. Actually, it did remind me. And it's not as hot as it was at the beginning of the season, obviously, but has cooled down. Having said that, there were still drinks breaks in the under-23s game before this one, but obviously, now that I've looked at the clock, I've just realised there will not be a drinks break in this one, which is good, because in all the junior grades, there's no stoppage time, but they do have time added on in first grade comp, so any drinks breaks, you've of course had to add the time on. But it's good to see, firstly, that we'll keep it moving, and of course that the conditions are comfortable enough for the players to not need what the A-League likes to refer to as cooling breaks. Jackson gets us back underway. Zordan. Has been pressured by Gabila and coughs it up. There's a run from Aunion, and Aunion will find Gavranic. Tries to whip it in, and Gilbane is not buying any of those little fakes. Spirit will try again from the throw. Now, I don't think they've got any kind of, how can I put this, any kind of Megan Campbell light, so to speak. No long throw expert. Indeed, it goes short to Osborne, and this time it's Stewart blocking the attempted ball into the middle. By the way, I mean, I remember broke a record with this, but if you don't know what I'm talking about with Megan Campbell, Irish international, Google Megan Campbell long throw and prepare to be amazed. Now, Osborne. Tackle from Stewart there, and then, but Osborne, having lost the ball, was zippy enough to win it off Zordan. Now Osborne to Halmarik, and Bozanic. Great use of the body. It had to be because she was half a step behind. Halmarik would have had a shooting opportunity. Instead, it's a goal kick. Biasi, great fake. Now how's the pass? Good touch off the hip, I think, from Mehmet. Unconventional, but got the job done. Now, the topspin on that will take it towards Gilbane, but the bounce a little bit too high. Tom Hopley urging Fee Gilbane to not transgress the laws of the game. And Osborne was forced backwards. Now there is Gabila. So Gavranic, Spirit beat the initial press, but then players not on the same wavelength. So it's back with Manly and with Schmelzer. Trying to use Minette as the target forward, but instead it's Chalasic who wins out. It's excellent central defensive play. Now Arrowsmith almost got to that against almost got to that head of Pridmore, and he needs to get up quickly because Biasi's on another run, followed by Pell. Now Gilbane, and Gilbane kind of played it between Biasi and Stewart. So it's Stoltzfus. And that battle between Gilbane and Stoltzfus continues in Spirit territory. They've managed to get it to Halmarik. Now Onion. Osborne, switch is available. Martin is free. Osborne instead decides for a safer option. By the way, the other 5 games being played in NPL Women's New South Wales today. Love the full set of games on Easter Monday. So, as I said earlier, a 3 p.m. kickoff between Sydney Olympic and the University of New South Wales at Petermore Fields. There's 2 5 p.m. kickoffs. Macarthur Rams host Western Sydney Wanderers at the rejuvenated Linwood Park. New synthetic surface there. Teams being proactive in replacing their synthetic surfaces. Love to see that. Manly United did that a couple of years ago. This pitch was relayed, I think, in 2022. I might call out some teams that need to relay their pitches, but it's probably not the smartest idea. As Gilbane with the interception runs into Pridmore, but Manly still have it. Minette gets a bit of a lucky deflection. Now on a run, what are her options like? Slides it. Here's Zordan. Zordan shoots, and Anita Zordan with that deadly left foot has opened the scoring. Grace Smith had no chance, and Emily Minette did so much in the build-up. It's a role reversal of Manly's goal from last weekend. Last weekend, Zordan set up Emily Minette. This time the other way around. And Anita Zordan has made it Manly United 1, Spirit FC 0. In a sensational goal.
Manly United 1, Northwest Sydney Spirit 0.
Anita Zordan, who's isn't still thinking about that goal because she was pressing immediately. She's another player that's been getting rave reviews. If you haven't already, see her match winner for Manly against the Jets 3 weeks ago when Manly beat Jets 3-2 at Lake Macquarie Regional Football Facility. Because that was clipped up for the NPL New South Wales socials, and it is honestly one of the best goals I've ever seen in this competition. I'm pretty confident because that was also a left-footed strike. I'm pretty sure Anita's right-footed as well, but 2 great feet. Now could open up for Manly here. The RC's got 4 of her sisters forward to this attack. One of them is Grace Arnold. And there's the shot. It's an easier task this time, but Grace Arnold, Manly left back, first time she's gotten forward and into the final third, and the shooting opportunity presented itself. Now Gilbane, she's read that like the Manly Daily, and Manly looking to turn the screw as halftime approaches, but pressure will be relieved. Nets couldn't work it to a teammate, and Arnold gets the jump on Martin. Diasi up against Pell, and that's good work to even get a shot away because Pell was sticking very closely. Diasi does go for goal. Easy save by Smith. Over the top, here's Stewart taking on Pridmore. Arrowsmith is in the middle. And then, good. Safe hands from Smith. No chance of a rebound for the Manly runners into the box. Now, I think I did say earlier that as us commentators, we are encouraged to, let Mark Stavroulakis, the Football New South Wales media manager, know about any potentially viral moments in our games. There's a discussion in the commentator group chat about this because I think one of my mates said, I've always wanted to do this, but I thought it would just look like I was talking myself up. And then my response is, well, I've never had problems with that, as Gilbane's on the move here. And Gilbane runs into Pridmore. Charlesic helps it to Stoltzfus. Gavranich, Zordan is looking for a way through. Pridmore. Pridmore. There is the way out as Spirit switched the point of attack. Now Pell going across halfway. And then giving it straight to Arnold, but Pell might get it back. Oh, Arnold strong in the 50-50. Manette. Biasi's with her. Arnold getting forward as quick as she can, so the option should be to the left. Arnold shouted for the ball and got it. One-on-one with Chalisic. And across the box, it's an awkward bounce possibly for Stoltzfus, but she's done well. And we are. Yeah, time flies when you're having fun. It's already first half stoppage time. No fourth official, so in this competition until finals, I think. So it'll be the pre-1998 Men's World Cup experience. You're just going to have to guess how much time Alana Zik has added on. Manette through Stewart. Good run, beats the first defender. Wants an option. It's a bit static in front of her. She does find Zordan. Now Biasi. Biasi. Oh, sorry, no, that's Bazanic. My apologies. I should know better than to get those two mixed up. Sorry, Sian and Tegan. Here's Phoebe. That's Gilbane. And now Zordan tries again. And decent effort. Did look like Grace Smith had it covered. And there's the whistle. It's half-time in NPL Women's New South Wales, round 7. I'll let
the half-time score, Manly United 1, Northwest Sydney Spirit 0, and the sole goal from Anita Zordan in the 40th minute.
So in case our mics didn't pick that up, it's Manly United leading Spirit FC by a goal to nil as the teams head to the dressing sheds. A spectacular Anita Zordan goal is what separates the two sides, but Spirit have given Manly plenty to think about in a defensive sense, and this one is far from over. Eric Subihano on the mic here from the Lucas Neal stand in Cromer. We will take a short break, then we'll be back for the second half.
referee. The halftime score, Manly United 1, North Sydney Spirit 0.
Welcome back to the second half of our NPL Women's New South Wales coverage on this glorious Easter Monday. Manly United currently leading Spirit FC by 1-0. A wonderful opener from Anita Zordan, a player who's really making a name for herself in this competition. That's what splits the two sides. The second half is ready to get underway. Manly about to attack the northern end here at Cromer Park. On the canteen end, there's the whistle. Away we go. That Spirit have been almost a weird way to say it, but they've been good value despite being 1-0 down. Very good side. Did see that on Wednesday night when they beat the Jets at the Arctic Circle. And I'm sure there'll be plenty of twists and turns in the story of this game before the full-time whistle. As that be a goal kick as signalled by the assistant on the far side, Anna Zastavnikovic. Now, as the point earlier, I am a Hillshire resident, so are the centre ref, Alana Zick and Anna Zastavnikovic, assistant on the far side, so it's good. Do enjoy a Hillshire takeover. Whenever I see something like that, I especially enjoy it when it happens here in the Northern Beaches, because people from the Hillshire showing the Northern Beaches how it's done. Sounds like my day job. Anyway, Spirit throw with Stoltzfus. Now, of course, I did notice during warm-ups at half-time, just wondering if there'd be any substitutions, but it doesn't appear to be the case. I'm checking the shirt numbers as we speak. I might confirm those lineups for you when I've make sure I know who's out there on the synthetic turf. If you missed the opening, you might have experienced some audio issues right at the start of this broadcast. Apologies for that. Anyway, here's BRC and headed away by Pridmore. Bozanic plays it off to Gilbane. Works it back to Jackson. Gilbane. Lost out to Gavranic, who was looking for Halmarik, and a second go, which is also blocked by Jackson. A third go, blocked again by Jackson. Yeah, there you go. Positioning is like 3/4 of the battle when you're a central defender, and that was one of the clearest examples possible of that. There you go, so Manly haven't made any changes. Can't confirm that for you. There's Smith, I hope I pronounced that correctly, plays it towards the middle. Now Halmarik looking for Martin. Martin's header is looking like it'll be towards Schmelzer, and Manly back in control. So it looks like Spirit haven't made any changes either, so it's as we were. Great tackle from Zordan, has runners. And Manette. And Manette again shoots, but it's not dipping in time. It's the big net behind Grace Smith's goal. Now, whistle from Milana Zik. Thought you might have needed something that required a stoppage, but the thumbs up. We're back underway. Keeping it moving. I love to see that. And Biasi getting the encouragement all the way at the other end of the field from Simonson. Encouraging the press. Now Bozanic has fouled Osborne. Just a reminder of the lineups out there for Manly United. I think it's pretty much a 4-3-3. In goal, Nicole Simonson. The 4 at the back from left to right. Number 3, Grace Arnold. Number 15, Michaela Schmelzer. Number 6, the captain, Ruby Jackson. Number 2, Phoebe Gilbane. 3 in midfield. Number 12, Sian Bozanic. Number 8, Anita Zordan, the goal scorer for today so far. Number 18, Daisy Arrowsmith. Number 3 up front. At centre forward, it's number 9, Emily Manette, flanked by number 11, Tegan Biasi, and number 5, Nicole Stewart. While for Spirit, also roughly a 4-3-3 shape as I see things. In goal for them, number 31, Grace Smith, 4 at the back from left to right. Number 17, Ariana Stoltzfus. Number 3, the captain, Erin Pridmore. Number 19, Victoria Charlesic. And number 32, Harper Pell. The 3 in midfield, number 14, Christina Onion. Number 66, Madison Gabila. And number 7, Kayla Osborne. And the 3 up front, Sky Halmerick is at centre forward, number 9. She's flanked by number 25, Michaela Gavranic. And number 5, Victoria Martin. Now, as I go on one of my famous commentary tangents, and all of you will start rolling my eyes, just witnessed a brief conversation between Michaela Gavranic and what I would assume would be a parent at half-time. As that's played forward, and a good header from Charlesic. But yeah, this conversation between Gavranic and, well, it's Biasi. Might get to that first. She does. Big chance for Biasi. Great save. Smith stayed brave and stayed up on her feet as long as she could. But could be back in from Bozanic, but not because of a crunching tackle from Kayla Osborne. And again from Osborne. But Bozanic rewarded for persistence. To the edge of the box. Here's Zordan. And Zordan stopped. And it was necessary. Schmelzer from way out. And it's saved by Smith. Right. Zordan, who's already given us the spectacular with her goal and the opening stanza. Spirit were very, very keen to close it down on the edge of the box. And back to that conversation I saw at half-time. Yeah, yes, I'm going to finish this tangent. Because that conversation, well, hang on. Simonson has to hurry. Martin giving chase. Simonson probably has a way out. And she does find Arnold, left-hand touchline. Forward is Arrowsmith. And Arrowsmith trying to sneak between the defenders, but Charlesic gets there first and plays it safe. But yeah, anyway, there's a brief conversation between Michaela Gavranic and one of her parents. But now I'm thinking, is Michaela Gavranic, does she have Filipino heritage just like me? It might be worth an investigation. As well, that's brilliant from Biasi, and Biasi shoots. 2 strong hands from Smith. Biasi put a foot through that one and cried it. Good save from the Spirit custodian to keep the score at 1-0. Arnold goes direct. It's over Manette, and Pridmore heads behind for a corner kick. Biasi, tell you what, she's getting closer. Harper Pell will need to be at her best to stop Biasi getting any more chances. Oh, a brief reminder of the Spirit bench. Matilda Gilbert is the backup keeper. The other options that Tony Candy could choose: Sienna Hawkins, Charlotte Finnerty, Sophia Kelleher, Lucy Fuchaneko, and Lacey Wynn. Zordan with the corner, bounces it back off Arrowsmith. Now she delivers. Yeah, I told you she's right-footed. That's how she... Now Schmelzer retrieves it on the far side, but is outnumbered by Gold and Black on that side of the field. While the Manly bench, and the Spirit still trying to avoid getting boxed in. They'll win another throw in deep inside their own territory. Yes, for Manly, Tom Hopley can choose from the backup keeper Jodie Drover, as well as a couple of defenders, Leah Burton and Ava Roberts. Now Arnold breaking through, was on edge, wants it on the right foot, puts it wide. Now Gilbane, and it's going to be over Biasi. Biasi picks it up out of the sky. And she's tracked by Pell. Isn't interested in winning a free kick. Will be a corner, but yes, on Manly's bench, Leah Burton and Ava Roberts defenders, backup keeper Jodie Drover. The others are kind of more utility players, which shows you how talented they are. Lucy Richards and Peyton Starner, and Ellie Kerr is a forward. That's who we might see later on. And I think pretty confident all of those players have at least some first-grade game time this season. So not no matter who comes on, it won't be a completely foreign situation to any of those 6 players if Tom Hopley needs them later in this game. Here's Pridmore. Looking to hit Gavranich. Is headed out by Gilbane. Zordaan takes over, finds Manette. There are runners, and Manette looking for Stewart, and Stewart, she got the jump on Stoltzfus. That's unfortunate for her. Touch was just a little bit heavy. Meanwhile, heard off mic, the Spirit subs are about to start their warm-ups. Now, Spirit having trouble getting out and threaded through. Big chance for Biasi, and Tegan Biasi makes it 2-0. They've got the reward that their second half players deserved. And it's looking to be a strong position. Manly looking great to continue their undefeated start to the season. Emily Manette, once again, the creator. That was a perfect through ball. We've seen those runs cutting inside from Tegan Biasi all game. She got the jump on the defense once again, and she has absolutely put her foot through it. Sensational football from the Northern Beaches side. Golan each half, putting them in a commanding position. Pell working it back to the keeper. Now, well, Simonson way off her line, and Arnold's got the hurry, or Martin might have the tap in, and how about that from Grace Arnold? And she gets the thanks from Nicole Simonson, because all of a sudden, out of nothing, it broke open for Spirit. Simonson, to be fair, at least stood up to try and put off the shot. It wasn't the contact. I think it was Harmarik she would have wanted. And Grace Arnold, there's a lesson to the kids, never give up. She was in position to prevent what would have been a certain tap-in for Victoria Martin, but danger's not over. Corner kick, Gavranich. What Spirit needed, aimed outside the box, but it is at least retrieved by Stoltzfus. Defended by Schmelzer, taking the sting out of the cross, and Nicole Simonson, we can breathe a sigh of relief with the ball in her gloves. Meanwhile, flick header from Biasi, then Manette gets around the Charlesic, and Manette just lost a balance, unfortunately, at the vital moment. Ball gets away from her grasp, and Grace Smith gathers. perhaps something of a new segment. I don't know why my commentary has segments. Why don't I just talk about the game? Well, anyway, as that should be Schmelz's ball. And look at my messages. I might just call it Canteen Watch. So, you know, we love... It's part of the thrill of watching NPL games, assessing the canteens and the food and beverage options. Had a lovely chicken roll, one of Cromer Park's famous chicken rolls before the game. Charlesic steps in there, but Manly get it back. And a great ball from Arrowsmith. Here's Stewart. She got to it first. Well, she got some kind of a touch. And it wasn't something that to beat the keeper. I think that's going to be a goal kick. But there's also a collision. Alana Zick on the scene to check on Grace Smith's welfare, but keepers, they're tough characters. Takes a lot generally to take a keeper out of the game. And so Grace Smith can restart us with this, can get things back underway with this goal kick. Now, Grace Arnold. And she got the jump on Martin, then there's a few collisions here. Let the girls play, I say. And now Osborne taking over the loose ball. First time ball from Halmarik. Gilbane had to let it bounce. She couldn't reach it, but before it bounces a second time, Gilbane clears. Very alert defending. And very much what's needed. Gavanich can't beat Gilbane. And now, Manly trying to go back to go forwards. Schmelzer to Zordan. Arnold to Arrowsmith. Jackson realizes she can turn the play forward. Nice ball to Arnold. And Arnold is now one-on-one with Pell. Her turn to run at the right back. He's going to get to the byline. And the cross might reach Biasi. Biasi, great first touch. Sets it up. Here's Manette. And it's 3-0. That's sensational football. It started at the back with the captain, Ruby Jackson, releasing Grace Arnold. A strong run from the left back, finding Biasi. Biasi then puts it on a plate for Emily Manette to score again. Looking like 3 goals and 3 points for Manly United. I hope the coach, the Manly United head coach, Tom Hopley, well...
Continues, ladies and gentlemen, number 9, Emily Manette. Manly United 3, Northwest Sydney Spirit 0.
Yes, well, I hope Manly United head coach Tom Hopley, I hope he remembered what he said at halftime, because it's clearly worked. Bozanic. I do wonder if Spirit will make some subs soon as they try to gain some kind of a foothold in this game. That will run away from Gilbane. Now it's Osborne. And Martin, but Arnold's got the jump once again. Good play. Gilbane through to Manette. She has some options. One of them is Arrowsmith. Now here's Grace Arnold. This could be another chance. And Grace Arnold scored. It's 4-0 to Spirit. Another wonderful team move. And Grace Arnold, she doesn't score often. But it was such a cool finish with the keeper rushing out. Set up by Arrowsmith, her UTS Northside mate. And well, I might have to do some research on the fly, which, to be fair, I'm not the best at. I wonder when the last time Manly United scored 4 was. Well, actually, it was in round 1, so I didn't have to think too much.
United, number 3, Grace Arnold. Manly United 4, Northwest Sydney Spirit 0.
And there's the subs. It's going to be a triple substitution for Spirit FC.
Northwest Sydney Spirit coming onto the field is number 27, Lucy Fuchiniko, number 26, Sophia Carr, and number 18, Sienna Hawkins. Making their way from the field, number 14, Christina Ornon, number 3, Erin Pridmore.
Well, yeah, just kept quiet here. Yeah, I've been caught not paying attention. I saw 3 Spirit players come on. I only saw 2 go off, but they definitely only have 11 on the field. Anyway, here's Governage. A chance for Spirit to go straight back down the other end. Cut back, Halmarik. Might get a second go. Here's Halmarik, and it's saved well by Simonson. Oh, there we go. Another old football adage, you're often at your most vulnerable after you've just scored. And Sky Halmarik, who has been marshalled well by the Manly defence in this game. Oh, she tested Nicole Simonson there. Yeah, it's headed back. Halmarik is interested. She'll get an opportunity, and she shoots. And see, I was checking to see what the officials thought, but Chloe Gray, assistant nearest to us, non-Hillshire official for today, and Alana Zick agree that it is a goal kick. Simonson did not get a touch. Okay, so the ground announcer hasn't spotted this, but I have. Victoria Martin, unseen to, I'd say, a fair few people, is the 3rd player that subbed. Now, my memory's not the best, as long-time victims, long-time listeners of my commentary know. So the players that did come on, it was number 27, Lucy Fuchineko, number 26, Sophia Kelleher, and number 18, Sienna Hawkins. Coming off the field, just to confirm, number 14, Christina Onyon, number 3, Erin Pridmore, and number 5, Victoria Martin. There's the header from Chalisic. I wonder if there's some kind of a reshuffle as well. A triple sub that I wasn't expecting. It'll take me, God. Please don't time how long it takes to figure out, the potential tactical implications of this triple sub. I'll need timing with a sundial. Gilbane swings it in. Chalisic is there, but no. Half clearance at best. Work back to Zordan. Worked in by, I think, Stewart. Now, Jackson booms it into Grace Smith's gloves. Oh, no. I do want to see these 2 players, but I haven't actually figured out the triple sub, and Tom Hopley's cooking up a double sub at least, because Lucy Richards and Ellie Kerr are about to come on. Well, it's out. Yeah, he's going to do it now, so I might figure out this Manly double sub before the Spirit triple sub.
Substitution for your Manly
actually,
United FC.
Grace Smith, it's going to be a pit stop for Grace Smith.
And number 16, Lucy Richards.
So Ellie Kerr, number 20.
Is number 5, Nicole Stewart, and number 2, Phoebe Gilbane.
Well, thankfully, I think this is 2 straight swaps. Thanks, Tom. That's a little bit easier. Ellie Kerr, number 20, replaces Nicole Stewart. Looks like she's gone to the right wing, where Stewart was operating very well. And it's another straight swap in defence. Number 16, Lucy Richards, replacing Phoebe Gilbane. Oh, that wasn't as bad as it could have been. By the way, there was a brief pit stop for Grace Arnold, something with a boot, but the fine folk at Physics Rehab looking after the Manly United players. Now Osborne turns to get the jump on Bozanic, and then Bozanic fouls Kayla Osborne. Sienna Hawkins, by the way, as I very, very gradually figure out this Spirit triple sub, looks like Sienna Hawkins has replaced Victoria Martin on the right wing. Number 27, Lucy Fuchineko, is in central defence, taking the space vacated by Erin Pridmore. Oh my God, my brain is overheating trying to figure this one out. I'm sorry, everyone. So the remaining player would be number 26, Sophia Kelleher. She's the midfield replacement for Christina Agnon. Oh, goodness. We got there in the end, I suppose. Got there just in time. Spirit are going to make another sub. I am just a simple commentator. This is... So I was wondering earlier after Grace Arnold's scored that fourth goal for Manly, finished it expertly. I'm wondering how long it's been since since Manly have scored 4 or more in a game. It was actually in round 1 when they beat the Wanderers by 5-1 at the Rudy Hill Turf Farm. I should have known that because I was there. Anyway, it's Halmarek from range and a comfortable save for Simonson. Don't mind me. I'm just sending jokes in my group chats. No, I will not. No, I will not tell you on air. Kerr, first chance to run at the defense, and credit to the fullback there. I think that's Stoltzfus, because it would be a goal kick. Now more subs. The teams are making subs at the same time. One each.
Substitution for North Sydney Spirit. Coming on the field, number 29, Lacey Wynn. Substitution for your man in IOC. Coming onto the field is number 4, Leah Burton. And making away from the field is number 8, Anita Zordan.
Okay, so...
also Sydney Spirit, the player coming off, number 66, Madison Gabila.
Okay. So in case our mics didn't pick that up. For Spirit, Lacey Wynn, number 29, replacing Madison Gabila. And that looks to be a straight swap in midfield for Spirit. Now Minette... aiming for Biasi, and it's just escapes the flying winger's leap. Leah Burton now, I think, in my experience, the majority of her first grade time has been seen as a defender, but I've always been impressed by how neat on the ball Leah Burton is as she breaks that up, Spirit passing move up. And so Leah Burton replacing Anita Zordan. That looks to be a straight swap in the Manly midfield. So we're into the final 20 minutes of regulation time here. So yeah, it is not a complete surprise to me that Burton has been chosen by Tom Hopley to play in midfield for the remainder of this game. There we go. And she can join her UTS Smallside Futsal Club mates Daisy R. Smith and Grace Arnold on the field. I've started a futsal tangent. Oh no, there goes the rest of this commentary. But I don't think I've missed any other UTS Northside futsal players, at least in this matchday squad for Manly, or indeed Spirit. Apologies if I have. But Spirit, at least in my experience, they're more a Jewel Warriors Mountain Magic sort of club when it comes to that futsal NPL crossover. Osborne, speaking to Jura Warriors, gets it back from Halmarek. Kelleher still, she was open for a long way, and Osborne held on to it. Then the Kelleher passing option was gone. Now it's back with the central defenders. Futcheneko blocked by Kerr. Now, I don't know. Given how hard it is for me to figure out subs, I don't know why I'm trying to multitask, but yet I will, because we do love going around the grounds on the Football New South Wales YouTube page. It should be full-time at Petermore Field between Sydney Olympic and the University of New South Wales. You could call that the Demi-Koulizakis Cup. Great ball by Burton, and Kerr will get onto this. Chance to run at Futcheneko. 2 subs going head-to-head. Meanwhile, Tom Hopley wants to make more subs. He wants to make sure that they're properly warmed up first. Richards, back to Burton. Richards again. Now Kerr, and it's going to run over the goal line. So Peyton Steiner and Ava Roberts. Actually, it's going to be now, so I'm glad I was paying attention. It's good to be on the same side of the field has the technical areas, because all these subs come in quick succession. Let me tell you, when you're on the other side of the field to the technical areas, well, it's quite difficult. As the floodlights are on here at Cromer Park, Twilight football, you'll love to see it. Ruby Jackson, hope she's okay, not exactly moving freely. But the Manly skipper's going to make way. And the armband, by the way, has been given to Emily Minette. Ava Roberts is a defender, so you'd assume she's the Jackson replacement.
Your Manly NWS, making their way from the field is number 6, Ruby Jackson, and number 12, Sian Blazanek. And coming on the field is number 19, Peyton Steiner, and number 22, Ava Roberts.
Okay, so that, more straight swaps. Thanks, Tom. So, just to clarify, Ava Roberts is replacing Ruby Jackson in central defence. Emily Minette is now the Manly United captain for the remainder of this game. And Peyton Steiner replaces Sian Bozanic in the hosts' midfield. As ball forward and an early touch for the introduced player, Steiner, as well as Richards. Now Kerr, and Kerr, well, didn't get the ball initially, but she put enough pressure on it for Manly to win it back. With Burton, does well to hold off Halmarik. Manly start again with the keeper. Well, they break the press. Good work by Schmelzer and Steiner, the two Americans, to find Arnold. Now, a bit of a tumble for Steiner, but it's okay for Manly. Burton finding the wide option. That's Kerr. Good 1-2. Lovely football again from Manly United. Kerr getting the support from Richards. Here's Lucy Richards. And Richards just runs away from her at the end, so Smith can gather. Oh, don't worry. I'm still going to try and multitask this one. But then that attempted move doesn't work. It's a good tackle on the far side. I think that was Richards. Now Steiner. Okay, so with the slight caveat, assuming the live data person has got it right, because mistakes with this are rare in the graphics for our streams. It has been known to happen, but as Biasi plays it forward to Minette. At Petermore Field, UNSW have beaten Sydney Olympic by 3-2. Here's Arnold. Now Minette, stopped by Osborne, comes back to Minette. Osborne is preventing the shot. Here's Steiner, the wide up was lacking a little bit of width, at least in that phase of play were Manly. But here's Arrowsmith, and Arrowsmith eased out of it by Futcheneko, and then Spirit go back to the keeper. By the way, Canteen Watch, for those of you who are interested in those sorts of things. Those of you who love your milk alternatives, shout out to big friend of Football News of our streams, Megan, for telling me that lactose-free milk is available at the Petermore, at the canteen at Petermore Field. She tells me she's had a lovely lactose-free hot chocolate because she was watching that game between Sydney Olympic and UNSW, which the students won by 3-2. You could say UNSW ran rings around Sydney Olympic. Shout out to my friend Lockie for coming up with that one. No, I won't explain it. So that's now two full-time scores in this league. Oh, great! Now I'm going to try and figure out a live ladder. Well, there's actually, with some excellent goal difference, there's a possibility that Manly United could go to the top of the table, but there's games in progress now. And meanwhile, Charlotte Finity will be the next player on for Manly. In fact, that'll be the final sub. Yep, pretty sure. Yep, this would be the 5th and final sub for Spirit. Sorry, for Spirit, not for Manly. Charlotte Finity, who does she replace? Great. Now I have to player leaving the far side of the field.
Coming onto the field is number 22, Charlotte Finity. And coming off the field is number 25, Michaela Gavranik.
Okay, so, yes. Just to confirm, if Mike's didn't pick up the PA, Charlotte Finity, number 22, replaces potential Filipino superstar Michaela Gavranic. That is now one of my most important research tasks for the remainder of the season. I care about the big things. Schmelzer. Biasi leaves it behind her. Pell gets the foot in there. Now Minette. And Minette with the somewhat unsubtle hand on Pell's shoulder, dragging her to the synthetic turf. Now, a bit of a miscommunication here. Minette almost gets the charge down. Now Roberts playing it forward. It's over. Pell, so Biasi hasn't given this up. She's got the taste. She's won the ball. Great work. And Biasi can't find one of those midfield runners. And now 79th minute here. As Roberts, little drop of the shoulder so to make the space so she can play it back to Simonson. If you've just joined us, well, you've missed a sensational performance from the Queens of the Beaches, Manly United, as Schmelzer steps past the tackle there, because it is Manly United leading by 4-0 over Spirit FC. Biasi eases past Osborne. Biasi, I think, wanted to work it for a shooting opportunity. She does get a shot away. It does require a tumbling save, but it looked fairly comfortable for Grace Smith. And it was Anita Zoran opening the scoring with a spectacular goal from outside the box. Then a real flurry in the second half has put Manly in this absolutely commanding position, with goals from Tegan Biasi, Emily Minette, and Grace Arnold. That's why Manly are 4 goals to the good. Kerr cutting inside. It takes a bounce, then great turn from Biasi. And Biasi, well, she wanted a decision, not getting one. Arnold steps in again. She's been good, really proactive at left back today. Really stopping Spirit attack, stopping her direct opponent from turning. And, that's Manly. They're clearly not content with sitting on their laurels. Look for number 5 from this corner kick. Arrowsmith has given the signal already. Everyone back for Spirit except Sienna Hawkins. How does Arrowsmith deliver this one? Long-time Manly United photographer, and sometime Football New South Wales photographer Jeremy Denham in position, as Arnold is the short option. But Arrowsmith goes direct. Not quite cleared. And here's Arnold outside of the foot shot. Good block from the torso, it has to be said. Stana trying to make room for the shot, but now there's potential Spirit counter with Osborne. She's been very persistent despite the way the second half has gone for her team. She's going to support Hawkins. Now Osborne. Schmelzer got back in time. And Stana helped secure the ball. Now Richards back to the keeper. I'm just keeping an eye on it. I think just a big recovery run, but Biasi's just onside now. She can get involved if Manly can get the ball. And okay, I suppose that's a free kick because, a pretty clear handball from Roberts. No protestation from the host there, but I did wonder because Halmarik was about to take over, but it's kind of an awkwardly bouncing ball. She was also under pressure, so probably the right decision from Milanazic. And Nicole Simonson has asked for 4 in the wall. Discussions from, I think, Osborne and Halmarik as to what they do. There's players forward as well. 6 options in the middle. Osborne could be some kind of a variation, but Halmarik will go direct, and Simonson can watch it go wide. Short goal kick, and Roberts or Spirit standing off, so there's a bit of room to run, by the way. Yes, I did say that earlier. Depending on how the goals fly in elsewhere, Manly could be at the top at the end of this Easter weekend, which we certainly hope you have enjoyed, because us here at the Football New South Wales media team have loved bringing the action to you. There's also, I mentioned late drama on Holy Saturday. With a 3-3 draw between Bulls and Stingrays, but actually it wasn't the only dramatic women's game that was streamed on Holy Saturday, because the League One women's match the feature game from the second tier, a late equaliser for the pride of Western Sydney, Blacktown City, to earn a 2-2 draw against Bankstown City. There's a long-time League One women's reporter, Justin Davies, on, with the commentary there from Gabby Stadium. I know some of you call it Landon Stadium. I prefer to call Blacktown City's home ground Gabby Stadium, as I am old and set in my ways. Burton. Now Biasi finds herself centrally. They look to bring in Starner, but instead it's Minette keeping it alive. Starner be the wide option, and she hustles to keep it in play, and cannot keep it in, cannot prevent the goal kick. It's a good try anyway. Other games coming up, so yes, so there should be another 3 games underway by now. There were 5 p.m. kickoffs at Linwood Park with their new synthetic surface. MacArthur Rams hosting Western Sydney Wanderers. At Popondetta Park, also another new synthetic surface. It was Mount Druitt Town Rangers, one of the undefeated teams, hosting Sydney University. By the way, just love. Actually, I'll see how this Roberts run's going, because I just thought of an amusing thing. Starner. Round Osborne has a wide option. I think that's Ellie Kerr. Kerr first touch to take it past Stoltzfus. Around the cover. On the cover is Futchaneko. And then it's Wynn. Can she play it out? No. Burton will get it back. Can't find a teammate. Osborne defending. Don't mind me, I've just got to text the Golden Greek Mar Stavroulakis something. Just hang on. Halmarik, they back off and she shoots! Great save from Simonson. It was excellent shooting technique from Spirit's number 9. Brought the best out of Simonson. Spirit corner coming up. Try to keep a manual corner count. In games I call, I just realized I completely fumbled that one, so you can, forget about it. So, every defender and keeper I've ever met loves a clean sheet, so plenty for Manly to do at this set piece. It's a good delivery. Roberts is up. Strong header. Richards to press the wide player, but it does go into the middle, and the header from the other number 22, who was Charlotte Finnerty, but it's an easy save for Simonson. Too long that time, so Grace Smith takes over. That, by the way, is Spirit try to work it out of their own half. But they do not. Arrowsmith looking for Biasi. Little dink, and Biasi, well, she made Chalisic hurry. Here's Ellie Kerr, and Kerr shoots from way out. Rolls wide, but yes, that was my amusing thought. If you're a longer-term fan of this competition, you would know, you would understand what the point I'm about to make here. Imagine telling people... How can I put, telling people, I don't. Imagine telling people 2 years ago, or definitely more years ago, imagine telling people that Mount Druitt would be playing Sydney University in an NPL Women's New South Wales game, and that Mount Druitt would be the favourites. Great work done by the folk at Popondetta Park since being readmitted to Football New South Wales women's first grade competitions for 2022 when they re-entered the second division. They earned promotion last year. They've got a great squad. They're still undefeated, one of the 4 undefeated teams. And they're looking to who's that Poppendetta Park advantage to their benefit as they host Sydney University. So at the always odd kickoff time of 5:10 p.m, it's the other Arctic Circle team, Gladesville Ravens. They're hosting Northern Tigers in, what do we call that? The Claudia Chalakian Challenge. As Burton to BRC, around Pell, but not round Charlesage. Schmelzer saw Halmer coming, was able to keep the ball away from her opponent. But yes, the latest game in the round, we do have a Sunday evening football for you because the weather is cooling down here in Sydney, but the action might heat up at Lambert Park. Zapia Leichhardt hosting Newcastle Jets. That's a 6:30 p.m. kickoff in Leichhardt. I believe it'll be Nicola Posner with the commentary for that one, so that's something to look forward to. And by the way, if there's anyone watching this game who will actually be in attendance at Lambert Park later, if you see a weirdo with tattoos who's always looking at his phone, come and say hi to me, because I'll be there. I'm making the rush from Cromer to Leichhardt after this game's done. Stana steps in, head of an opponent. Almost like she tried a nutmeg pass there. Doesn't come off. Now here's Osborne. Yeah, despite the scoreline, I've been impressed by Kayla Osborne. She's been a real warrior in that central midfield area for Spirit today. You can see the club do rate her so highly. She did speak a bit about players with a futsal background. She is also one of those players. And I think does show in her game, because she does have a good touch, and she's a very persistent kind of opponent who doesn't back down. All qualities that make you a very handy futsal player. Apologies, just hear me fumbling around at the commentary position. It's my memory again, but Stana might open up, opts not to shoot because she found Arnold's run. Back to the edge of the box, Burton nearly had a chance. Here's Kerr. Kerr shoots, and it's dipping, but not in time. It lands on the roof of the net. Well, we have seen a Grace Arnold goal today, which is quite a collector's item. Nearly saw a Leah Burton goal. I'm not sure if she does have a senior goal for Manly United yet. She made the right run at the right time. Unfortunate not to be found. Now Stana intercepts. She's been good off the bench for Manly. First time ball from Manette. Biasi gets the shout. Here's Burton. Side-footed effort. It's fumbled, and it's going to be a tap-in for Emily Manette. Couldn't be easier. And it is 5-0 in stoppage time for Manly United against Spirit FC. Well, Stana providing those fresh legs in midfield. Great choice by Tom Hopley to bring her on.
United, she's on the double, ladies and gentlemen. Number 9, Emily Manette. Manly United 5, North Sydney Spirit 0.
And there we go. It really does put the cherry on the sundae. And at the end of the meal, that is the Easter log weekend, a very delicious dessert for the team from the Northern Beaches. 5-0 to Manly United over Spirit FC. Schmelzer. Can't be much time left, but there's time. There's time for at least one more opportunity with Stana. Manette, it's swinging in. Safe hands, though. Well, I'm looking at the body language, but I think we'll have at least possibly a minute, at least 30 seconds more of football, although I did see a little glance at the watch from Atlanta Zik. And you have to say it, the way, great second half, and the way this entire game has gone for Manly United. I mean, 5 to the front. There's a smile on their face. It's a case of 1, 2, 3, 4. High five for Manly United. And they could be top of the league when this round is finished. And Manette saw the keeper off the line. That is, well, if it goes quick enough, it might end up being a good switch of play. Stoltzfus gets there first. It's full time. What a day for Manly United.
NPL New South Wales Women's between your Manly United FC and Northwest Sydney Spirit. The final score, Manly United 5, Northwest Sydney Spirit 0. To the goal scorers for Manly United, Anita Zorden in the 40th minute, Tegan Biasi in the 55th minute, Emily Minette in the 60th and the 90th plus 1 minute, and Grace Arnold in the 62nd minute. Ladies and gentlemen, we invite you back to the far post for drinks and refreshments, and remind you that we are back here tomorrow night for the Australia Cup between your Manly United FC and Hills United. On behalf of Manly United FC and the Manly Ringer Football Association, we thank you for joining us here tonight at Cromer Park, and we hope to see you again soon.
Yeah, so just to wrap this one up, a sensational day for Tom Hopley's team and the folk from the Northern Beaches. 5-0 victory for Manly United over Spirit FC. A wonder goal in the first half from the youngster Anita Zordan put Manly United in a good position heading into the halftime break, and they really put the foot to the floor in the second half. 3 goals early in the second half from Tegan Biasi, Emily Minette and Grace Arnold. And then to cap it all off in second half stoppage time, Emily Minette's second of the game, resulting in the 5-0 scoreline. We hope you stick around on the Football New South Wales YouTube page, because there's other NPL women's games in progress. We've got MacArthur Rams versus Western Sydney Wanderers, Mount Druitt versus Sydney University, and Glacial Ravens versus Northern Tigers. While starting at 6:30 p.m. from Lambert Park, home of Sydney's best barista, it is Apia Leichhardt versus Newcastle Jets. That'll be called by the Serbian Martin Tyler, Nikola Pozda, and that should be a great one for you. Looking forward to watching that one. But for now, from Cromer Park, this is Eric Subihano on behalf of Football New South Wales and our broadcast partners, Sportscast, and today's very patient camera operator, Sophie, signing off. We hope you enjoyed our Easter Monday coverage of NPL Women's New South Wales. Carla Pascal, Srekan Delikten, Dretan Uskers, to my Filipino brothers, to my brothers, sisters, and fams, Maligang Batis, Paskot Nampak Kabuhay. Have a happy Easter, and we'll see you next time.